yourself. I hope you die. Why don't you go rot somewhere? No one is going to miss you. No one is ever going to love you. That's what they used to tell me all those years. When I was 3, I went on my first plane ride, stopping at Paris, then off to America, the place I now had to call home, or as I used to call it, my black hole. Silicon Valley is the literal best place in the world to live in, but for me, growing up was so much less than paradise. I was 6 years old when I had my first encounter with a bully, a young girl with beautiful wavy hair. At least, that's how I remembered her. She was my friend for 2 weeks. She found out who I liked and ran with it, told him and eventually the rest of the class, and ruined my only friendship. I was alone the rest of that year, and the kids would mock me because I was the girl who had a crush. When I was 7, I hated my school. I had no friends and was getting beaten by some of my classmates. When I was 8, I feared school. I would cry in the bathroom during lunch, covered in bruises, and every day would beg my mom to let us move. After 3 years of begging, age 9, I did. The summer of my move, I met a young group of Girl Scouts who would later become my Girl Scout troop and some of my best friends. I also met a girl who was the daughter of my mom's friend. At first, I thought she was weird, and I didn't really like her. But to this day, I call this girl my sister. First day of 4th grade, age 9, I met a girl who became my best friend. She was my best friend for 1 semester until a new girl came to our class. The two of them met, my friend left me and started to hurt me. From the day she stopped seeing me as a friend, my world started turning backwards. It's as if the sun had just started shining on me for the first time since my move, and 5 minutes later, it starts to rain again. Ages 9 and 10, my classes killed every part of me. When I was 9, my notebooks were taken, my secrets ripped out of me, my friends stolen from me. I would go to school afraid and leave worn out and hurt. It's as if the kids that I didn't want around me were next to me, watching me, laughing. When I was 10, there was a schedule. In the morning, I would chase down one of the kids who had stolen my books, hoping I would get them back, and some days I didn't. I was called names nonstop during the day, most of which I can't start to say on school grounds. I was kicked and hit. I was made fun of. I was followed home. And because of a stupid game that me and my best friend played called Be a Mythical Creature, and I was a mermaid because I loved them, water was poured down my back every day for the rest of 5th grade. The teachers thought that I was lying, and I got in trouble for accusing the kids who hurt me for doing it. Age 6, I learned. Age 7, I hated my school. Age 8, I wanted to move. Age 9, I did. Age 10, I wanted to die. I started wanting to kill myself when I was 10 years old, after being told to in every way possible. With notes, online, in class. As you can see, I didn't. That didn't stop me from thinking many, many times I could just stop the pain, and they would all disappear. I can't say the idea of making my bullies disappear wasn't pleasant, but I can't say that it was helpful. I would spend the next few years of my life beating those horrible messages out of my mind, and I can tell you that it's much easier said than done. In 6th grade, I thought because it was a bigger school that I would get away from the comments and the pain. I was wrong. Every class hurt, every minute hurt, everything hurt. I was placed in the adolescent counseling services, my school's therapy program, and I gave up hope for a better future. My 7th grade was worse. In 7th grade, I lost the love for my peers, and I gained the love for the things that couldn't hurt me. My laptop, my music, my iPod. The kids in my class would beat me over the head with different kinds of gym equipment, and to tell you the truth, when a basketball hits you in the head twice, within 10 minutes, you can start to feel lightheaded. At the end of the year, after a year of nonstop jokes and accidents, the pain I would have to endure would last me for years. They had hit me especially hard that day, and ironically, during picking dodgeball teams like glass, I cracked. I yelled, and I yelled, and I yelled at them, and I got them in trouble for hurting me. Later, as I found out what their consequences might be, I felt so bad that I went to my teacher and I stood up for them. I told her I was exaggerating so they wouldn't get in much trouble. Now they know why they didn't get suspended. Sometimes I wonder whether the apology they gave me was sincere. Now I know they're thinking about it. Once all of that was done, I thought 8th grade was my year. I thought now that I had stood up for myself, I would be okay and done with bullying. I was wrong. Again. One of the kids who had, on orientation day of 8th grade, one of the kids who had hurt me the year before made every kid apologize to him as he was spreading the rumor that I was in his classes, them knowing how my presence is a burden. I heard about this and I checked, only to find out I was in none of his classes and he is in a different homeroom. It didn't matter though. The damage was already done. The kids never stopped staring at me. They already knew who I was, because everyone had already told them. I was her, the girl people just knew, and not in good context. They took away a lot of substance that I have as a person. They made me a label, not a human. Everyone, if you would please take notice to the "Hello, my name is" tags that you were handed on your way in this morning. Don't take them off, just notice them. Now I want you to imagine that on that label is a word, a negative word that you think somehow represents you. Now I want you to imagine that as the day goes by, that name tag will start to multiply. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and by the end of the day, you are head to toe covered in name tags with horrible messages. Now tell me, if all you could see when you opened your eyes was a horrible word being written about you, tell me, what would you think about yourself? Exactly. I am one of the 3.2 or more million teens in the US who have to go through bullying each year. I survived. I am living proof that those comments mean more than just a joke. More than just a joke. There is no reason that 3.2 or more million teens in the US should have to be put in therapy for attempted suicide or depression because you did not treat them with the respect that a human being deserves. And now more than ever do I understand this. Just because I was strong enough to handle the pain does not mean that I deserved it. I am a strong, funny, exciting, creative, and beautiful girl. Most days I can see that. Others, I will argue every reason that I'm not, because I still can't fully see my own self-worth. The girl who I once called my best friend has been a classmate of mine every year for 6 years. After all that time, she's finally learned to see me as something other than the freak, and it's a lot easier to be near her now. I hope it will remain that way for the rest of my high school experience. Now you're here, listening to me talk about the million times that I was hurt, and some of you may be asking why. Because I learned respect for myself and for others, and now it's your turn. Look to your left. Look to your right. Who do you see? Your friend? A classmate? Maybe someone you don't know, or someone you haven't talked to since you were in 3rd grade. Yes, it's exciting. You're sitting next to someone. It's cool. They have spent their life at home, maybe at work, with friends, with teachers, and like you, fellow students. Yes, the person next to you may not have had an influence on you personally, but here is something else. Think about your parents or your best friend. Think about all those times that one of their words came to your mind. The person next to you has had that. They have had other people reliving their thoughts. They're important to someone. Funny, smart, amazing, worth something to someone. The term worth means usefulness or importance, as to the world, to a person, or for a purpose. When a bully calls their victim worthless, they are implying that that person has no usefulness or cannot bring importance to anything or anyone. Now that's crazy. Just the thought, if everyone provides something for the world, is anyone ever worthless? I didn't think so. The people around you could be a future writer, a mathematician, an archaeologist, a teacher, a CEO. All will provide. All will help. The term worthless is a broken term, and when used is taking away a sense of our own humanity. So stop. Let humans be humans. You cannot take away the sense of worth for someone who deserves it as much as you. People of all shapes, ages, and sizes should be who they are with passion. Because height, age, weight, and grade are numbers, just numbers. And when it comes to somebody else, let me remind you that those numbers have nothing to do with you. I am not the thinnest person in this room. I am stating this now, just in case you didn't notice. But I say this now, and I hope it will stick. My weight is not a defining term. It doesn't define me. If for any reason you can't think of any other way to describe me besides the fat girl, let me give you a few. Friendly, kind, passionate, loud, musical, human. I am human. I am who I am, and if you don't like it, then learn to accept it. Just because someone is different than you, that doesn't make them worse than you. And you, that one kid who I know is sitting here right now and understands what I'm saying from their own personal experience, say it. I used to think that my story was a story of worthlessness. Now I understand it's a story of power, my own strength. The key to happiness is realizing that it's not what happens to you that matters. It's how you choose to react. The thoughts that you choose to think and believe right now are creating your future. And there is nothing that existed in your past that cannot be changed now. It doesn't matter what other people say or do. What matters is how you choose to react and what you choose to believe about yourself. No one can make you anything other than what you allow inside, and you can't let the people who don't care for you define you. They're not as important as the people who do care. I am a very approachable girl, and I'm not afraid to stick out my neck and help people. I, as myself, am here, not metaphorically, but physically standing here to be with you, to help you, because I do understand indestructible worth. But worth is a funny thing, because sometimes some people believe that others have more worth than they do. And to tell you the truth, 90% of my life, I'm thinking about the people that I believe in more than I believe in myself, like singers or my friends. Now that's a problem, because I have self-worth. I have things to contribute to the world, and so do you. You are the most amazing person you will ever be. Let yourself shine. Take who you are with pride and passion. Spend a minute of your time to just understand yourself. Think to yourself, this is me. I am, and go with it. You can't let your worth or belief in your worth go. You earned it while living, while accepting yourself. You earned your worth as you smiled to your parents for the first time when you were a baby, or when you wrote your first word, took your first step, sang your first note. Your worth grew with you, because the older you got, the more you could express yourself. You are you, and you are always worthy. If you ever find yourself constantly trying to prove your worth to someone, you've already forgotten your own value. And your value does not decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. So sometimes all you have to do is forget what you feel and remember what you deserve. You deserve to be you, and you are worthy. Thank you.